All right, so next is from Trent Arnold, subject WCW. What's up, K100 crew? Been recently watching episodes of WCW from 2000, and I don't understand how this was looked at as a bad show. Disco, you with the Mama Luke's was good TV in my opinion. My question is, do you guys believe the only thing that was holding WCW back was the production? Looking back at some of the storylines from WWE during that time, they were good, but I feel like the production made WWE feel better than WCW more than anything. Thanks, Trent. Um, I'll say that I'll still say this. There was a like when Vince came into WCW and he booked in '99 2000, right?
Hmm.
He like every character on the show had a storyline. Whether the storyline was good or not, whatever, but everybody had like a story, backstage vignettes, interviews. It's like there was just like a lot of guys were involved in a lot of stuff, right? I will put the Mama Luke's TV, like the vignette, bro. Even the Filthy Animals. We did some really funny stuff on with the Filthy Animals, where I'd be like where like I was the guy that was like you can go back and watch some of these clips. They're pretty funny. Like I was trying to like book our matches, and I would get confused because like Ray would be hurt. I say, Ray, it's me and you tonight against so and so. Ray be like, what are you talking about? I'm out. I got an elbow shot. I was like, oh god, I forgot. I'd be like I was like the dumb schmuck that would always like. Then you guys would yell at me for like screwing things up all the time. It was funny stuff, But those type of vignettes would be good on TV today. Like I would put our backstage vignettes, the stuff that we did, up against anything on TV today, and then it could absolutely hang with it'd definitely be better than anything on AEW, and it'd be just as good as anything in the WWE right now. Would you agree with that, Conan?
I don't remember them too much. I'd have to look at them again.
If you
But
watch them back, some of them
yeah,
are hysterical. Like
yeah.
we're all just like
Well,
on.
we had good sense of humor, and we all got along.
And everybody, if you're watching this, everybody could look at like you guys were always frustrated with me because I was like the schmuck, right? So
Right.
that you would get that out of the storyline. So, all right, next
Hang
is
on,
from
I got a random
John.
one here for you to look at. It's short. It's yeah,
Okay.
it's coming up now.
All right. Guys, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this, okay? Don't worry about it. You do the running. You do the running. I pin the cat. I'm the commissioner. We run this place, guys.
That's not possible, man. Why do you keep telling us what to do? That's what the gang does.
All right? Do what I say, okay?
Stupid, man.
This is simple. I'm not.
All the time, man.
This is stupid.
What did I have to do what he just said? Stupid. You know what he just said? This is stupid.
There goes Disco. Kill the duck. Kill him. Duck him up.
I like screw
What did
something
Madden
up and you
say?
guys kill the duck or something.
Duck him up.
Kill the duck.
Maybe the fans will beat his ass. They been stripped of the World Tag Team title by a lame brain with an inflatable goose. Lost the titles and never stepped into the
Right. Bro, that was like some funny stuff we did. Like you guys are running that. I went out there, I screwed everything up, and you guys came running after me to like beat me up. So, that's funny stuff,
Yeah.
Next is from John Doan. Subject is what went wrong. Question for K Dog: what went wrong with your original MLW podcast? MLW originally had you, Cornette, and Pritchard. These podcasts made and are still making a ton of money under different networks. Why didn't MLW become the successful Conrad network? Who messed that up?
Well, Cornette was very difficult for Court to deal with, and he like, for example, I'll give you one example. For whatever reason, he hated Mark Madden, and he was like, "Yeah, if Madden is ever on your show, because I think we had him on once. If you bring him out, I'm off the thing,
Yeah.
And so, and it's kind of a shame because I loved Cornette when I met him in Impact, which is where I really got to know him. I liked him because he was very opinionated like me. He didn't give a like me. He had no problem, just keeping it real, So I always liked him.
It was very funny too. Very funny.
Yeah, he was very funny. I've invited him on the show many times. It's never even, answered. I'm like, do we have a needle or something?
Yeah, because he thinks I'm like Vince's friend, so he won't come on the show because I'm like Vince's friend.
It's incredible.
That would be the reason why. Yes, ridiculous. And I know it's so petty. It's like,
And so Pritchard, who me and him had a very bad relationship, when he got the Impact, like I thought he was hilarious, bro. We had him on the show
Right.
too. We had him here. He was a great storyteller
Yeah.
with an incredible memory. Like he's really funny, you know. But I don't text him because I might think he's thinking, oh, this guy's trying to look for work. You know what I'm saying? But I had a really good time with him in Impact, and he treated me good when I went to WrestleMania. But I just think that, well, you know, I got a deal from Jericho to leave for more money, so I left. You know, I invited him and MSL. They didn't want to come. Cornette, you know, like I said, he was always having problems, and for one reason or another. And Pritchard, I don't know what happened with him. So yeah,
I think
All right.
he and Conrad, the show got huge immediately, and I think they were looking to make more money from ads.
oh, okay. So then they left. Okay,
So
that's
maybe
that might
when
be it.
they were finding their own sponsors, Court probably wanted a cut, and they're probably, well, why would I do that? You know, just stuff like
Yeah,
that.
bro, look at that. Court had me and Cornette and Pritchard.
Bischoff
Wow.
briefly, Kevin Sullivan, you know.
All right, next is from Guled Ahmed. This is ridiculous. Okay, I should suspend him for asking such a stupid question. Subject is Hulk Hogan in UFC. Yo, K100 crew. A while ago, I read an article that Hulk Hogan was in talks about joining UFC in its early days, but declined due to its violent nature. Do you guys remember something like that? I can see a scenario where he tries to Hulk up, and Ken Shamrock's like, that doesn't fly here, and karate kicks him in the square.
In the what?
In the square.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I don't know. It's like this is so stupid. Like he thinks that like Hulk would be hulking up in a UFC fight against Shamrock.
But Hogan did say,
God.
he said publicly that he talked to the original owners.
He's
back.
full of
He's full of and he's
Right.
also claimed that he was almost bass player from Metallica, which was also made up.
Right.
Hulk just does that.
Yeah. Next is some rain or shine. Subject is short and simple. Hey K100, how come I can listen to Cornette? It's completely free of noise. Well, listen to you guys. Everything is censored. It gets a bleep. What gives? P.S. This guy heard your Howard Finkel impersonating, but your Kermit the Frog one is a little bit better.
Oh.
Suspension 1 week. Rain or shine.
Wait a minute.
No, we because bro, you got to navigate your way around. You listen to our regular show. The regular show, you don't get the thing, but we have to censor a lot of stuff on YouTube because their algorithm is fixated where like you can like the words you use or cut, you can get demonetized like a snap of a finger.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, so
Well,
we have to do that.
If you're that interested in uncensored stuff, man, just go on Patreon where everything is uncensored. You know, and even if there's some stuff that might be too hot for the podcast or words that we shouldn't use, that everything's on Patreon, and there's no ads too. So there you go.
Right.
Tell him where he can find the Patreon, Joe.
Patreon.com/Conan. You get content every day. You get 6+ years of stuff now. I mean, and it's all uncensored. It's been that way all along.
Next is from Charles Redmond. The subject is Ryback's death threats. Have you heard about this, Conan? I've gotten some DMs from Ryback about this too. Good day, guys. Hope you're all doing well. See, we've heard, but there's this guy recently calling into Ryback's podcast, threatening him and various friends and family of him. I'd be interested to hear your take on the situation. These types of issues and threats have become more common, especially in the wrestling world community. I've attached the article below. Basically, bro, there's this mentally unstable guy that's threatening him and threatening his family and stuff and everything, and DMing him and stuff and everything. And then, bro, Ryback's got the FBI on it.
Right.
It's that bad, and that's what you do. You call like, bro, this is, when people threaten you with physical harm and violence. That's
and your family.
Yeah, that's okay. You need to go after people like that. That's where this is where words are violence. We're like, hey, yeah, when you're actually getting threatened with violence, that's when it matters, So
yeah, I read or saw that he tweeted something about how I know your mom lives in the house behind yours or something, like just you shouldn't know and shouldn't be using his threats and all that, just
yeah. All right, next is from Buttons. Subject is Eddie Kingston. Greetings, K100 crew. I know you mentioned the return of Eddie Kingston in your AW review this past week, but I have to bring up what everyone's thinking. Is it possible that during this hiatus he's gained even more weight? To me, it did not look good. He even mentioned in his promo that he had to put a shirt on because he had too much ice cream. Is it just me, or is this a bad look for a wrestler to openly call yourself out for being out of shape? Thanks for your insight, and that's from Buttons. Like, I don't want to. I hope this doesn't make it to a YouTube clip because I don't want all the people coming after me again for being a hater on Eddie. But dude, it's like Eddie Kingston's gimmick would work. He could be the out of shape guy, slob and stuff.
Kevin Owens.
If everybody else on the show like dressed professionally instead of dressing like slobs, like they come out of the show, because half the guys in the show come out in t-shirt and jeans or t-shirt, and then they look like I said, they don't dress for work. So you don't look like a gimmick. You look like an out of shape guy that dresses like the other guys. So you need to work on that. I don't have sympathy for people that don't put the work in. Bro, Vince Russo, Mark Madden lost like 80 pounds. It's like if Mark Madden can lose that weight, Vince Russo lost like 30, 40 pounds. These guys are all like 60-year-old guys, that have like the same schedule as like you guys do, a lot of free time on their hands. So it's like, bro, just put in the work. I don't know. I know people think I'm harsh or body shaming, but it's like if you had more muscles and your belly was a little bit smaller and you're more in your chest, you'd look more menacing as a character. And I don't think anybody can really argue with that. What do you think, Conan?
Well, the thing is that we all know an out of shape guy that can fight or is a tough guy. So he's kind of like that guy. And the people still love him, no matter if he's fat or he isn't fat. So if they're accepting him, of course he'd be more marketable if he was in shape and probably even more menacing, like you say. But a lot of the guys there they're very well paid. And as long as the fan base is cheering for them, they're like, why fix this? Because, Conan and Disco and some other fans think this. Look at these guys. So,
but Bubba Ray Dudley, okay,
right,
was always looked at as kind of like just like the fat guy in 3D
right.
Okay.
Dudley.
Then what happened?
Right.
Then he got in shape.
Right.
What happened to his career and his position on the card when he got in shape?
Top heel. World
It's not like there's not a lot of history involved in like this for guys who've gotten in better shape and moved up the card. That's kind of like, especially when it's guys that are talented. Because like I said, the guy's got a top baby face mouth for interviews. His interviews, he can go one-on-one with anybody, but it's just like you look at it, it's like, I don't think this guy, like, he can't beat any of these guys because he doesn't look it. That's what I would say. So,
and there's always a contingent of fans that have made fun of Eddie for the shape he's in and stuff. And then people on YouTube will be like, AEW apologist and stuff. But I know that Eddie had like a double hernia repair. So that's not exactly the best recovery time to try to tighten up your abs or something. You can't do anything,
Next is from William Molina Jr. and the subject is Triple H mad at Vince. Hello, K100. I've read into stories lately teeming with the seething frustration that consumes Triple H due to Vince McMahon's ceaseless tampering with the creative process, frequently executed with audacious spontaneity on the very day of the show.
Okay, wait a minute. This guy's using too many words, like trying to show off his vocabulary.
He's Latino.
That's my spot. Yeah.
This impels me to inquire, was this type of behavior ever a constant occurrence in any promotions where Disco K-Dog graced their presence? Bro, 15 minutes before the show, they'd be changing the show. Like, this is not old news, but I want to say this. I hear all the dirt sheet podcasters and the Mark podcasters are talking about the frustration with Triple H and Vince. Is like, I don't take any credence into those stories at all. I watch their shows, and if Vince McMahon's involved in the creative process, the shows have been very well written lately. Okay, so if he's involved in the process, it's been very good, and the numbers have been good. So everybody like to always say, like, oh, Vince is involved. They're going to, this ominous thing, like, if Vince is involved, it's going to go down the tubes again. So, bro, show me the evidence of that. There's zero evidence of that. They're in a good stride right now, and they're doing the best business they've done in like 20 years almost.
Yeah, it's hot.
I mean, the weekly television numbers aren't there.
And
but
for all we know, Vince might be letting Hunter write the show with other guys, and he's editing it, and he's, and who wouldn't want Vince's experience?
Right. Like, they make it sound like Vince doesn't know what. Bro, the Dirt Sheet Marks and the Mark podcasters make it sound like they think that Vince doesn't know what he's doing. It's like,